Hey friends, it's Kurt from Transformative Journeys. I'm back today to continue our conversation about the milestones of the hero's journey. I'm also out here on a road I really enjoy. And you can see some of it behind me. You can see this bridge that this road's named for. It's called Hauser Bridge. It's above the Sonoma coast, and I am surrounded by wildflowers and singing birds and butterflies and the sound of the stream running below me. So it's and the call of a crow, or maybe even a raven. I'm not sure. It was squawky enough it might have been a raven. Anyway, back to the hero's journey. The last time when we spoke about the return. So the hero's gone, they've crossed the threshold, they've met the mentor, they have had gone through trials and tribulations. They have approached the innermost cave. They've fought the monster that lives in that cave, that guards the treasure. They have, we hope, defeated that monster, and they then have to return with the boon, the gift of them for society, which is actually the last step. But they begin the return for the purpose of achieving that last step. Now, on the return, there's one more big milestone. And in some ways, it's a big part of the point. Every one of these stages is important, but this is a particularly important stage and might be one of the reasons why we went on the journey in the first place. And that is, in some tellings, it's called resurrection. The old you has died. The new you who has been waiting to be born, finally is born, and you become the person you were meant to be. This is also called, if you look at it from a Jungian psychological standpoint, can also be called the integration of the shadow. And for which the question is, well, what do we mean when we use that term shadow? Simply put, and probably simplistically put, the shadow is the parts of ourselves that we deny, the parts of ourselves that we find unworthy, unacceptable, that we try to hide even from ourselves. We certainly try to hide it from others. This shadow can be all kinds of things. It can be the things that we perceive internally as flaws, as weaknesses, as evil. The problem is that it's still there. It's still there, and it finds ways to come out. If we try to suppress it, if we try to push it down, if we try to avoid it, not look at it, it makes itself known in other ways. One of those ways, as an aside, is called projection. Projection is when we see the faults in others that we despise in ourselves. When we see weaknesses in others that we despise in ourselves, and we project that onto them. We project our self-hatred onto others. I am sure you have seen people, and certainly people in public life, who are very keen to accuse other people of the very things that they are doing, that they are guilty of. And they frequently go out and accuse others of those same things. That's the shadow, and that's an unhealthy shadow. The healthy shadow is the shadow that is integrated, that allows us to resurrect. I've been talking about some movies that are great exemplars of the hero's journey, and one of the ones that I really enjoy is Scott Pilgrim versus the World. And in Scott Pilgrim versus the World, there is actually a stage where after he has battled what for him is the greatest monster, he then has to face Shadow Scott. I think he calls him Nega Scott. It comes from the video game that is sort of the blueprint of the movie. The character called the Nega Ninja that he says he can never get past. He gives you a clue early in the movie. Oh, I can never get past that guy. Well, that guy is the shadow. And later in the movie, we see him. He goes in he thinks to battle the shadow, and instead he becomes friends with the shadow and integrates the shadow. Even if we recognize the shadow, and frequently we don't because we've put so much effort into denying it, even if we recognize it, we still have to find a way to integrate it. And that's hard work, but it's a key part of the hero's journey. And when that shadow is integrated, when the person on the journey, the hero, has been resurrected into the person that they're meant to be, the last stage is the return with the boon, bringing the gift back to the rest of society, which is really our obligation here in life, is to bring the gift that we're here to bring to other people, to the rest of society. So that kind of wraps up our milestones of the hero's journey and explains a little bit about why we use it in transformative journeys. We hope you'll come out and join us. We hope you come out and join us, try on the hero's journey, see where you're at, see how to get through it. It's an adventure, and it's a necessary adventure, and we can only put it off for so long. Talk to you soon.